If hard work truly made people rich, poverty would be rare. That sentence immediately creates discomfort because it collides with one of the first beliefs you were taught to respect. From childhood, you were told a simple formula. Work hard, stay disciplined, sacrifice today, and success will eventually arrive. It sounds fair, logical, and morally correct. But when you step outside that story and observe the real world, something doesn't add up. The people who wake up the earliest, work the longest hours, and push their bodies to exhaustion are often the ones barely surviving. Construction workers lifting heavy loads under the sun, factory workers repeating the same motion for years, delivery drivers racing against time, cleaners working before cities wake up. Their lives are built on effort, yet wealth never seems to find them. This creates a question most people feel but never say out loud. If effort is the key, why does effort fail so consistently? And why does questioning this idea feel almost wrong, as if you are betraying a moral rule? That feeling is important because it reveals something deeper. This belief was not designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to keep you compliant. Hard work became sacred not because it leads to freedom, but because it keeps systems running smoothly. Once effort is framed as virtue, people stop questioning outcomes. They learn to respect exhaustion, admire struggle, and tolerate stagnation. Over time, suffering becomes a badge of honor. And the most dangerous part is that when effort fails, people don't question the belief. They blame themselves. They assume they didn't work hard enough, didn't sacrifice enough, didn't suffer enough. This self-blame keeps the illusion alive, because the moment someone asks whether hard work itself might be the wrong focus, the entire story begins to crack. For this belief to survive for generations, it had to be reinforced everywhere, not just at work, but in schools, families, and culture itself. From a young age, you are rewarded for obedience, not for questioning direction. Sit quietly, complete the task, follow the rules, and you are labeled disciplined. Rarely are you taught to ask whether the task itself is worth doing. This system was not built by accident. During the industrial age, societies did not need millions of independent thinkers. They needed reliable workers who would show up every day and repeat the same action without resistance. Hard work was framed as character, while leverage was quietly reserved for a small minority. Over time, effort stopped being a tool and became an identity. People began to define their self-worth by how much they struggled. If they were tired, they felt useful. If they were exhausted, they felt important. This created a dangerous trade. People exchanged long-term freedom for short-term validation. And once someone's identity is tied to struggle, questioning hard work feels like questioning their entire life. That is why this idea is defended so aggressively, even by the people it harms the most. Because admitting that hard work alone does not work would mean admitting that years of effort may have been misplaced. And that realization is far more painful than physical exhaustion. This is where the conversation becomes uncomfortable, because it forces a distinction most people never make. Effort and reward do not exist in a fair relationship. The world does not pay based on how hard something feels. It pays based on how much value that action can create and how widely that value can be distributed. This is the role of leverage, the invisible force separating endless work from exponential results. Leverage allows a single decision, a single skill, or a single piece of output to reach thousands or even millions without requiring the same amount of repeated effort. A teacher in a classroom can reach 30 students a day, but a recorded lesson can reach millions over years. A manual worker trades hours for wages, but a system owner trades structure for scale. The effort behind both actions may look similar on the surface, but the outcomes are worlds apart. Without leverage, effort remains trapped in a linear cycle where progress crawls forward one step at a time. With leverage, effort escapes that cycle and multiplies. The tragedy is that most people are taught to respect effort itself, not to question how that effort is structured. They are praised for working harder, not for working in a way that compounds. And so they keep pushing, believing that exhaustion is proof they are getting closer, even as the distance between effort and reward quietly grows. This explains why so many intelligent and capable people appear constantly busy, yet feel stuck in the same place year after year. Their calendars are full, their days are exhausting, and their minds are always occupied, but nothing meaningful seems to accumulate. Busyness creates a powerful illusion of progress because it feels productive and looks responsible from the outside. It protects people from uncomfortable reflection. As long as someone is busy, they do not have to ask whether their actions are actually moving them forward. Society also rewards busyness with sympathy and respect, reinforcing the idea that visible effort equals value. Real progress, however, often looks unimpressive. It happens quietly, through decisions that reduce unnecessary effort and increase impact. From the outside, this can look lazy or even irresponsible, which is why most people avoid it. Choosing direction over intensity requires facing the possibility that years of hard work may have been misdirected. And for many, staying busy feels safer than confronting that truth. At some point, this quiet discomfort turns into a familiar internal story. People begin telling themselves that success simply takes time, that patience will eventually be rewarded, and that one more year of pushing will finally make the difference. This explanation feels comforting because it protects the ego. It allows someone to believe they are on the right path, just not far enough along yet. The alternative is much harder to accept. The possibility that effort has been invested in the wrong direction is terrifying because it forces accountability. If struggle alone is not enough, then exhaustion stops being a shield. There is no longer a guarantee that suffering will be rewarded. This is why many people cling to hard work as a belief, even when the results clearly contradict it. Struggle becomes an excuse to avoid reevaluating choices. As long as someone can say they are trying, they never have to admit that they might be choosing poorly. And so years pass, filled with motion but not momentum, effort but not leverage, activity but not real progress. This is exactly where hustle culture steps in and fills the gap. When people start sensing that effort alone is not working, hustle culture reframes the failure instead of questioning the system. It tells them they are not waking up early enough, not sacrificing enough, not grinding hard enough. Exhaustion is turned into proof of ambition. Sleepless nights are worn like medals. Constant pressure is normalized and even celebrated. What is rarely discussed is who benefits from this mindset. Employers gain workers who push past healthy limits without demanding proportional rewards. Platforms gain endless content from creators chasing visibility and validation. Influencers gain authority by selling the image of relentless grind, often earning more by promoting hustle than by practicing it. If non-stop effort truly created freedom, it would not need to be advertised so aggressively. The truth is that hustle culture keeps people focused on motion instead of direction. It convinces them that slowing down to think is laziness, when in reality, thinking is the only way out of the loop. The deeper problem becomes obvious when effort is compared directly with outcome. Effort increases in a straight line, hour after hour, day after day, but wealth almost never does. Wealth grows in jumps, through moments of leverage, timing, and positioning that cannot be reached by simply adding more hours. This is why people feel confused and frustrated even when they are doing everything they were told. When progress slows, they respond by working harder, assuming effort is the missing ingredient. But without leverage, more effort only increases pressure, not results. It tightens the trap instead of opening a path forward. Over time, this creates burnout, resentment, and a quiet sense of failure, even among disciplined and capable individuals. The longer someone stays stuck in this cycle, the harder it becomes to step back and question the belief itself, because questioning effort feels like questioning their entire identity. This is the point where the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The world does not reward effort in the way you were taught to believe. It does. It rewards value, and value has very little to do with how much pain or exhaustion is involved. Value comes from scale, from scarcity, and from timing. A solution that reaches one person is paid once. A solution that reaches 1,000,000 people is paid repeatedly, even if the effort behind it was similar. Hard work is not useless, but it only becomes powerful after leverage is in place, never before. Without leverage, effort turns into a moral trap, something that feels honorable while quietly limiting your options. And once you see this clearly, the belief that effort alone guarantees success can no longer protect you. Because if hard work is not the answer, then a far more uncomfortable question remains. What are you actually working toward? And why have you accepted that path without questioning?